Okay guys, so previously we looked at question 24, which I agree was quite on the more difficult end of questions, but hopefully guys we have managed to pass that, and hopefully you managed to understand why B was the correct answer. But now guys, we move on to an entirely new paper, which is the IMAT 2012 paper, and hopefully we should be seeing much more manageable questions here. So guys, we start off with question 1. So let's read this together. It says, many people argue that the many government programs intended to increase road safety have caused a steady decline in the number of road accidents on our road. However, some observers report that the real number of accidents may be much higher than is shown in the official records, as many accidents are not reported by drivers. They also say that during the time when accident figures have decreased, the number of people going to hospital because of road accidents has stayed constant. And says, which of the following can be drawn as a conclusion from the above passage? So guys, pause the video, give yourself over a minute, and be sure to come back. We'll be going through the answer. So guys, let's look at this. As many people argue that many government programs intended to increase have caused a steady decline in the number of accidents on our roads. So he's just quoting someone else's opinion, but that's not an opinion of his. So this is basically just observation. So this is just going to all be fact. And then it says, however, some observers report that the real number of accidents may be much higher than is shown in the official records, as many accidents are not reported by drivers. Again, he's just really stating what other people are thinking. This is more of a fact probably. So all of this we can exclude. Then it says they also say that during the time when accidents have decreased, the number of people going to hospital because of road accidents has actually stayed constant. So again, just other people's opinion. So this is more or less just, you can treat this as fact. So guys, as you can see in this passage, there's not really a clear opinion. So now you have to take into mind basically what the gist of the thing was. So the gist of the thing was essentially that people think government programs are actually helping it, but in reality, this might not be the case. So road as A, so it says A, road safety has improved greatly in recent years. It's actually saying the opposite of that. Drivers should be required to report all accidents that occur on the road. Nowhere does it say that we should be doing this. And even if that was the case, guys, it would have been evident that there was a strongly opinionated sentence to make B the answer. So it can't be this one. It says positive views about continually improving roads that may not be supported by what actually happens. Yeah, this one's quite good, isn't it? So let's bracket that off. Government programs have been unsuccessful in reducing the number of accidents. I guess we can consider this one as well. And then it says hospital admissions are a good way of measuring changes in the number of accidents on our roads. No way, guys. It does talk about hospital admissions, right? But it's saying hospital admissions have stayed close, but it's not saying how good they are as an indication. So it can't be this one. It says either between C and D. I think C, based on what we just formulated in our head, I think C is probably the better option. Hence why I'm going to go with C. The reason why I don't like D, because it's such a bold statement. It doesn't really say, it's giving the idea that the government programs are unsuccessful, and it's kind of tricking you. It's giving you the idea, saying, okay, clearly that has to be the right answer, but he doesn't black and white say that. Right, so that's why, guys, I think C is the answer, and hopefully, guys, you agree, and hopefully, guys, I hope to see you in the next video where we'll be going through similar questions. So see you soon. So guys, previously we were looking at this question to do with road safety and how it might not be such good news. Hopefully, guys, that has made sense. You managed to understand why C was the correct answer. But now, guys, we move on into same paper, IMAT 2012, question 3. So let's read this together. It says, nicotine chewing gum is already available in chemists. Nicotine is an addictive drug, but by itself, it causes little, if any, harm. Unlike other addictive substances, it does not reduce the brain's performance, make people lazy and antisocial, or have more accidents. But until recently, nicotine has been taken only in the form of tobacco, which also contains cancer-causing chemicals and deadly gases that kill 1/3 of the people who smoke it. Then it says, the chewing gum does not contain these chemicals and is not dangerous in any other way. So guys, pause the video and then this is a conclusion. Let me just finish that off actually, guys. This says, which one of the following is a conclusion which can be drawn from the above passage? So guys, you know the drill. So just pause the video, give yourself over a minute, and we will be sure to be going through the question after that time. So guys, we'll come back. So let's go through this question. So nicotine chewing gum is already available in chemists. So that's more of a fact. It's just stating his observation of where you can find this stuff, right? And it says nicotine is an addictive drug, but by itself it causes little, if any, harm. Yeah, so even if that was an opinion, it would be super weak. This is probably more of a fact, right? So this is all just fact. And then it says, unlike other addictives, it does not reduce the brain's performance, make people lazy, antisocial, or have more accidents. Again, this is similar to the other one. Even if it was an opinion, it would be super weak. More likely going to be all a fact, right? So we can just cross this all out. And then it says, but until recently, nicotine has been taken only in the form of tobacco, which also contains cancer-causing chemicals and deadly gases that kill 1/3 of the people who smoke it. Just from that area, guys, where it said 1/3, and it's really talking about that stat, that really just makes this whole thing a fact, isn't it? So this can just be wiped out all as fact. And then it says the chewing gum does not contain these chemicals and is not dangerous in any other way. So the first part, it doesn't contain these chemicals. So this is likely all just going to be fact, isn't it? But then the last part, and it's not dangerous in any other, that's probably just his opinion, innit? I might think it's dangerous still, but he's probably saying it's not dangerous, right? So hopefully, guys, from that you can basically, what he's essentially the vibe, even that's not a really strong conclusion. He's not saying we need to do this or we need to think this particular way. The general vibe is that he's saying that these nicotine is a good replacement, basically, and they're not dangerous, so it's fine if you have them. So let's go through the answers. Nicotine chewing gum should be banned, and as it is addictive. Nowhere does it say it's been banned, and actually it's creating a good image of nicotine chewing gum, so it can't be that. Nicotine chewing gum is a relatively safe alternative for those addicted to nicotine. Yeah, that's probably quite it, isn't it? So, but we'll consider that for now. And it says tobacco smokers can get rid of their addiction by chewing nicotine gum. So it's not saying it's saying this is a good alternative. It's not saying that it's 100% going to work. It's just saying it's a good alternative, it's a good way forward. But it's not 100% saying that it's going to work, right? So it can't be that. And it says nicotine chewing gum will make nicotine addiction more common by removing some of its risks. No way does it talk about, guys, in that passage making nicotine addiction more common. So it can't be this one. And then E, tobacco companies should put money into the manufacturing and marketing of nicotine chewing gum. So no way, guys, in that passage does it talk about tobacco companies and what they should do and what they shouldn't do. So it can't be that. So hopefully, guys, it's pretty obvious that then therefore B is the correct answer. Hopefully that was easy to follow, guys, and hopefully you managed to even get it without me explaining it. So guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next question. Okay, guys, so previously we were looking at this question to do with nicotine chewing gum. Hopefully that was pretty straightforward, guys. And if it wasn't straightforward, hopefully my explanations were clear and you managed to follow them up. But now, guys, we move on to the next question, which is in the same paper. So that was the BMAT 2012, and this is question 8. It says, modern technology has given us the power to use renewable natural resources faster than they can be replaced. The decline of fish numbers provide one example of the way in which modern technology can rapidly use up a natural resource. Modern fishing ships equipped with fish detecting systems and huge nets can gather up vast amounts of fish quicker than the sea can renew them. Because high technology gives us such harmful powers, we must learn to use the renewable resources of the earth carefully rather than waste them. Which of the following best expresses the main conclusion of the above argument? So guys, pause the video now, give yourself just over a minute, and make sure you're back where we can go through the solution. So let's read this, guys. It says, modern technology has given us the power to use renewable naturals faster than it can be replaced. So that, guys, it might be his opinion, right, that modern technology has probably given us this power, but this is going to be a weak opinion. Why would he be saying that? Why would he be using false information if we're not even going to agree with it? That's probably more of a fact, isn't it? So this we can just all cross out as fact. And it says the decline of fish numbers provide one example of the way in which modern technology can rapidly use up a natural resource. So he's just given an example. Then again, likely that's all going to be a fact. Otherwise, why would we listen, right? So then this is all just going to be fact. And it says modern fishing, equipped with fish detecting system and huge nets can gather up vast quantities quicker than the sea can renew them. Again, this is linked, tied in with the other one, isn't it? That tied in with the other sentence. This is just all going to be fact. And then it says, because high technology gives us such harmful powers, we must learn to use renewable resources of the earth carefully rather than waste them. You see how I changed my waste state, guys? We must. This is a clear indicator, guys, that that's going to be the main conclusion. We must learn to use renewable resources of the earth carefully rather than waste them, right? And we can just cross this out. So this one's pretty clear, guys. So you just need to find the answer which fits that the best. So it says, modern technology simply takes from the environment and destroys that. So that's just something passive in it, but clearly we can see the most opinionated sentiment which is something which is demanding, and that doesn't quite do it justice. So it can't be this one. Fishes is now a serious threat to the world's environment and should cease. He uses fishing as an example, but the overarching idea, he didn't write this for fishing, he wrote this for the overarching idea of renewable resources, so it can't be that. Then he says fish need to be carefully protected to prevent them from being destroyed. Again, fish is the example he's giving here. The overarching idea is renewable resources. It can't be that. Most people are unaware of the damaging effects of modern technology. So it doesn't really talk about who knows about this and who doesn't know about this. So it can't be that. And therefore, by process of elimination, we're left with E. But let's just read it. Humans must preserve renewable by learning how to use them carefully, right? So that clearly, literally, guys, the last sentence just writes it in another way. So it's clearly going to be, hopefully, guys, you can clearly see then that the answer is going to be E. And hopefully this one was pretty straightforward, guys. So hopefully that was clear. And yes, guys, we look forward to seeing you in the next clip. Okay, guys, so previously we were looking at this question, question 8, talking about modern technology and how it's impacting renewable resources. Hopefully, guys, that question made sense. Now, guys, we're going to swiftly move on to the next question, which is question 9. So let's read it together as always. It says, shower gel is now used much more than soap when people take a shower. This is unfortunate. Shower gel requires much more packing, which means more rubbish. There is also a tendency for people to use more of it when washing in comparison with soap. Therefore, more natural resources are consumed in the manufacturing process than would be if people used only soap. So the trend towards shower gel is bad for the environment. This is because it creates more problems of waste disposal and uses up more resources than soap. We should make people more aware of the environmental impact of such simple decisions. So guys, and then the question says, which one of the following is an expression of the main conclusion of the above argument? So guys, pause the video, give yourself a minute, and be sure to be back after that minute. We'll be going through the solution. Okay, guys, so let's go through this. So it says the shower gel is now used much more than soap when people take a shower. So this is more likely to be fact. It's just stating what he observes. So this will most likely be that. So you can just cross this all out. Then it says this is unfortunate. So that's obviously clearly his opinion, isn't it? So he might be thinking this is unfortunate. I might think this is okay. So this is clearly his opinion. So you can bracket that off. The shower gel requires much more packaging, which means more rubbish. So even if that's his opinion, it's going to be a super weak opinion, more likely to be a fact. So you can just cross this one out. And then it says there is also a tendency for people to use more of it when washing in comparison with soap. Again, more even if his opinion very weak, more likely to be a fact. So you can cross this all out. So cross. It says, therefore, more natural resources are consumed in the manufacturing process than would be possible if people used only soap. So that's just kind of leading on to what he's saying from before. Again, if this was to be an opinion, it would be weak, definitely weak in comparison to that bold statement saying this is unfortunate. So this we can just all cross out. And then it says, so the trend towards shower gel is bad for the environment. Again, this is opinion. It's probably equally as opinionated as this is unfortunate. Probably this one's probably even better because it tells us what's unfortunate. So this one really tells us that it's the fact that the shower gels is causing bad environmental impact. That's what's the unfortunate thing in this case. And it says this is because it creates more problems of waste disposal and uses up more resources than soap. So that's probably more likely to all be fact, isn't it? So all of this is more likely to all be fact. And then the last one, we should make people more aware of the environmental impact of such simple decisions. So hopefully, guys, by this way, you can appreciate then that this would be the strongest opinion. Because he's really telling us to do something. He said we should, collectively, we should do this. Whereas the other ones were more passive. He's just saying this is unfortunate or this is not a good thing. That's what he thinks. He's not really forcing anything onto you then, but now he's really saying we should all collectively do something. He's forcing an opinion onto you. So let's read this statement. So the increased popularity of shower is bad for the environment. Yeah, but probably not it doesn't well capitulate this thing, isn't it? The fact that we should all do something about it. And then the next one, it says, it is unfortunate that shower gel has become more popular than so that's really just talking about that thing. Yes, that's an opinion, but that's not the strongest opinion, isn't it? So it's really trying to trick you over there. So be careful. So can't be this one. People should be made more aware of the environmental consequences of choosing shower gel. Yes, this one's quite good, isn't it? So far, I think this one wins. Bracket that off. Because the use of shower gel increases the problems of waste disposal. Yeah, he does talk about that, right? But definitely not. Hopefully, guys, you can appreciate it's definitely not better than C. And then the manufacture of shower gel is more wasteful. The manufacturer of shower is more wasteful of natural resources. It does create that idea, but again, not the overall. So he wrote this to tell us that we should all do something about it. He didn't write this to just tell us that it's bad, is wasteful for the. He's telling us the reason he wrote this is because he wants us to do something. So this one can't be it. So hopefully, guys, this was probably one of the more straightforward examples. But hopefully, guys, you can appreciate that the answer in this case would be C. So hopefully, guys, that has made sense, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video.